Breaking news, Golden State Warriors fans. The Warriors are in serious talks to acquire Philadelphia 76ers guard Buddy Hield in a sign-and-trade deal per Shams Charania of The Athletic. The details of this deal are not finalized whatsoever as of right now. All we have is a tweet from Shams saying, just in, the Golden State Warriors are in serious talks on a sign-and-trade deal to acquire Buddy Hield, league sources tell The Athletic and Stadium. The Warriors and 76ers have been in deep discussions working to finalize a deal for one of the NBA's best three-point shooters. Now, the Warriors have obviously just lost Klay Thompson, and they've tried to make some signings around the margins to help improve this roster that failed to make the NBA playoffs last year after falling in the play-in tournament, signing De'Anthony Melton pretty much right after that Klay Thompson departure to the Dallas Mavericks. And then earlier today, signing Kyle Anderson to a 3-year, $27 million deal. So the Warriors, Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy, they're making moves here in the offseason. They don't want to sit back and just let all these other teams kind of take up all the talent that is still left on the board after Klay was looking to move elsewhere for the latter stages of his NBA career. But Buddy Hield, man, what does this do for the Golden State Warriors? By the way, this is why you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm in my room right now. It's past 11 p.m. Central Time here in Dallas, Texas, but we're bringing you every single piece of Warriors news that you could possibly want here in the 2024 offseason, trade news, free agency rumors. We just covered Lauri Markkanen earlier today, who the Warriors are apparently making their #1 target. So that's why you subscribe to Warriors Today, youtube.com/Warriors TV. What does Buddy Hield do for this Warriors roster, right? He obviously spreads the floor. He was a 38.5% three-point shooter last year, but he's had many seasons in his career where he's been above that mark. He's been one of the NBA's premier three-point shooters throughout his entire career. Now, does Buddy Hield provide much on the defensive end? No. But did Klay Thompson really provide much on the defensive end much this season? He was going to make, obviously, at least $17 million. That's what he got from the Dallas Mavericks. The Warriors probably would have paid him more. And guess what? You're getting Buddy Hield here on a cheaper deal. Can't say that for sure yet. We don't know the details. We don't know what Buddy Hield is going to be making from this deal. But he's probably going to be getting paid less than Klay Thompson is in Dallas. And the Warriors needed this, right? We've talked all offseason long about what Golden State needs. They need perimeter shooting. And that all started with the trade they made for Lindy Waters, trading the 52nd overall pick in the NBA draft to Oklahoma City and acquiring Waters in that deal. That is not somebody who's going to see much time in this rotation, but it was a step in the right direction. Then as soon as Klay Thompson leaves, you go out and pick up De'Anthony Melton, who's a great catch and shooter, and a player who's going to give you a lot of energy on both ends of the floor. Now you go out and make a deal for Buddy Hield, and this just makes you a much better three-point shooting team overall. When you need buckets from beyond the arc, Buddy Hield is going to be there to make sure he can make it rain. And then obviously going back to the Kyle Anderson move as well, that's this guy who's always making the right pass, always making the right play in the flow of an offense. And I think Golden State has a lot of plans to use him like they've used Draymond Green in the past. He's not the defender that Green is, but he's serviceable enough on that end to give you really productive minutes. And I think $9 million a year for him, using that trade exception they got from the Klay Thompson sign and trade, is going to be fruitful for Golden State to really build the depth of this roster, which let's be honest, guys, they didn't really have a deep roster at all last season. They played a bunch of rookies, and it was one of those situations where Steve Kerr wasn't really prepared to play all the young talent that they had on the roster. Now he's getting more a veteran group in with the 3 free agent signings that they have made. You're surrounding Steph Curry with talent, but what does this mean overall for Golden State's pursuits of a potential Lauri Markkanen trade this offseason? Tim Kawakami was commenting on this on Twitter just a little bit ago, and he has a lot of the same questions that I have, right? We don't know any of the details of this trade yet. And he is saying that it all depends on what Buddy Hield is really going to be making from this deal. What is Golden State going to be giving up? He said, before wait too late, I have many, many questions. I don't know how this might affect any possible other move, kind of talking about Lauri Markkanen or any other trade pursuits that Golden State might have. Or it depends on what Hield's salary is set at and what, if any, money the Warriors are set to give back to Philadelphia, which he doesn't know. None of us know right now as to what Golden State will be sending back in this deal to acquire Buddy Hield, because Golden State obviously can't just absorb him into the salary cap. They don't have the money to just absorb Buddy Hield straight up right here, right? But let's see. This is from John Hollinger. The Hield and Anderson deals have near zero impact on a potential market and trade. So that's good to hear. Warriors would likely send out as much or more salary than they take back in any realistic construction. And Kawakami replied to himself earlier saying, guys, I'm relatively sure the Warriors would not do a Hield trade if it ruined a shot at Markkanen, which we can all agree is going to be the case, right? We want to maximize Steph Curry's final years of his career here. And he's still in his prime, don't get me wrong, but he is getting up there in age, right? 35 years old. You don't know what you're going to get out of Steph Curry for the next 4, 5, 6 years. Who knows how long the guy is going to play? His game ages very well, so you have to surround him with talent as long as he's possibly playing for. You owe him that for what he has given to this franchise and what he's meant to the game of basketball. And a Lauri Markkanen trade, if you add him to this Warriors roster, say you give up Andrew Wiggins and unfortunately Jonathan Kuminga as a part of that deal, you're really setting yourself up here for a deeper roster now that you've made these free agent signings. You go out and get Markkanen, you give up an Andrew Wiggins who you really didn't have much plans for past this season. The Warriors have been open in the fact that they've wanted to trade him. And then Jonathan Kuminga is obviously the big kicker, right? Utah's probably not going to accept any deal that doesn't involve Kuminga because other teams are going to have strong interest in Lauri Markkanen and they're going to have strong offers. We've heard about the Spurs' interest. We've heard about the Pelicans' newfound interest. We've heard about Dallas's interest. We've heard about Philadelphia's interest, even after they go out and get Paul George. Now, the Warriors are not pigeonholing themselves. That is the overarching storyline here is that the Warriors are not pigeonholing themselves out of a Lauri Markkanen trade possibility by making this deal for Buddy Hield. They are definitely improving at the three-point line, getting Buddy Hield, getting De'Anthony Melton, and they're getting a good facilitator for that second unit at the forward position with Kyle Anderson. So overall, I actually really like the moves that the Warriors are making after Klay Thompson's departure. We've heard that Klay's antics were up there with the likes of Draymond last year, so they really weren't ready for him to continue that kind of act that he was having last season and maybe even the season before. So you kind of let Klay do whatever he wants. You let him go. You let him go try to maximize his championship opportunity in the last couple of years of his career, his last big payday. I guess you could say $17 million is his last big payday. But then you just kind of wipe your slate clean. You ride with what you have because you gave Draymond Green $100 million. And you maximize the time that Curry has left in his prime by making good moves around the margins, Melton, Anderson, and now Buddy Hield, and you still give yourself a good possibility at a potential Lauri Markkanen trade. So, in my opinion, this is an A signing. You needed more consistent three-point shooting in this lineup with the departure of Klay Thompson. Plus, De'Anthony Melton has had an injury history in the past. He missed a ton of time last year with Philadelphia as he had a back injury. So I'm giving this an A signing. Grade the signing of Buddy Hield, sign and trading. Once we see the details, maybe you'll have a different opinion. But grade the signing so far, just acquiring Buddy Hield. Getting Buddy Hield away from Philadelphia and getting him on this Warriors roster. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And as always, subscribe to Warriors Today for all the latest Golden State news and updates. We are the #1 source for Golden State Warriors free agency and trade news this offseason. We're making a video on every single move and every single speculation of a move. We're already talking about Lauri Markkanen. We were on Paul George last week. That fell through. We're on to the next here at Golden State Warriors Today. You're going to want to stick with us here for all the latest Warriors news and updates, so hit that sub button for me.